today. We're just going to start by sitting comfy with crossed legs. Close the eyes, just rest the hands onto the legs, the knees or the thighs, or even gently into the lap. Begin to lengthen through the spine, imagining that string on the crown gently pulling upwards. Roll the shoulders up, back, and slot them down. And keep drawing the shoulder blades gently towards each other. Bring your attention to your breathing, drawing in, expanding through the chest, all sides of the ribs, down into the tummy, and gently contracting the muscles as you exhale. And when you're ready, opening the eyes. Inhale the arms up, keeping the shoulders down. And exhale, float them back down. Inhale up. So just go at your own pace here. You don't need to match mine. Just follow your breath. We're going to have a bit of a focus on the hips today. It's going to be quite a deep workout, and we're going to be quite low to the mat. Next time we're going to add a little back bend. So as you sweep the arms up, let's look upwards towards the thumbs, curving through the back, and then exhale, float the arms down. And again. Last one. As you exhale this time, I want you to twist to the right, bringing the left hand to the right knee, and right hand comes behind the bottom. Try and keep that right shoulder down. And just taking a few breaths here. And with each exhale, just see if you can encourage yourself to go a little bit deeper into that twist. Exhale, round to the left this time. Right hand comes to the left knee. Left hand behind the bottom. With every exhale, just encouraging yourself a little bit deep into that twist. Exhale them down in front. You're going to clasp fingers and push the palms away from you. Now as you inhale, we're going to arch through the back, lift the eyes and the chest. And then as we exhale, we're going to round through the back, pull the elbows apart. And again, inhale, pushing upwards, little back bend. Exhale, really drawing the shoulder blades apart here. And again, keep going at your own pace. Follow your own breath. Exhale. Last cycle through. Well done. Release the arms. Just bring the soles of the feet together and wiggle the bottom as close to the heels as possible. Now, the main thing you want to do here is make sure that you can keep a nice long spine. So if you can't do that with your bottom close to the heels, just make that gap a little bit larger. Alternatively, you can absolutely sit on a block or a cushion, a folded blanket, just to lift the hips, and that gives you a little bit more space. And you can hold on to your shins, you might even hold on to your toes. But we're just trying to keep a nice long spine here. We're not folding over just yet. Just opening up through the hips. Inhale, bring the knees back together. If you're not already sideways on your mat, then turn sideways now. We're going to pop the hands behind the bottom, and we want to really push up from the floor here, so we're not letting those shoulders hunch up towards the ears. We're pushing those shoulders down. We're going to take the feet to the outside edges of the mat, and we're going to do a few cycles of windscreen wipers. So we're going to drop the knees to the left. You don't need to go too far to begin with, and then bring them up and back down to the right. Just follow your natural breathing here. Find a rhythm. And with each cycle through, just see if you can encourage those legs a little bit lower to the ground. Pushing up out of those shoulders, keeping the spine long. Beautiful. The next time you come over to the left, I want you to bring the legs down to the ground if you can. Doesn't matter if they're still up a little bit. If you can, bring your weight up. And you're going to reach over towards that left knee. You can have your hands on the floor and just see if you can collapse down as low as you can, chest towards the thigh. And then as you inhale, just lifting up, lengthening the spine, and then exhaling back down again. And just a couple times through, so sweeping up, and back down. Inhale up, exhale down, and inhale up. Bring the hands back behind you, bringing the knees over to the right this time, and just get yourself in a comfy position where you could be up on your bottom. And when you're ready, just bring that chest towards the thigh. Inhale up, lengthen. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale up. Bring those hands back behind again. Just extending the legs out in front. And I want you to turn the hands towards the bottom, so the fingers are pointing towards the hips and the bottom, the toes. And when you're ready, I want you to inhale and lift the bottom. Now don't worry if your bottom only just comes off of the floor, that's fine. You're trying to get nice and high with the tummy. Alternatively, you can bend the knees and do that version. Takes a little bit of weight off of the arms and the abdominals. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. Bring the the right foot to the left thigh, lengthening through the spine, draw the shoulder blades back, inhale the arms up, and then exhale, fold. Inhale with a little wave up, exhale, fold. Inhale up, keep those fingertips on the floor just to help support the back. Exhale, fold. I'm just going to hold it there this time a little bit longer. And inhale fully up using the hands to help, and we're going to swap sides. So left foot into the right thigh, lengthen through the spine, inhale the arms up, exhale, fold, inhale, ripple it up with a little wave, exhale, fold, inhale, up, exhale, fold, hold it there this time. Inhale up, use those hands, well done. We're going to come over into tabletop now, so just sweep those legs around, knees beneath the hips, hands beneath the shoulders. We're going to go through a couple of rounds of cat-cows. So inhale, drop the tummy, lift the tailbone and the head, and then exhale into that cat stretch, push away from the ground, tuck the tailbone, and just keep cycling through here. Your hips start the movement. So always begin from the hips and everything else just follows on. Going at your own pace. Beautiful. Come back to neutral. We're going to extend the right leg out so that the toes are on the floor, leg is straight. I want you to just push back into that heel, giving you a nice stretch from the heel all the way through the calf, the hamstring. Really grounding down, pushing that heel towards the floor. On your next inhale, we're going to kick the heel up to the sky and just hold it there for breath. And then I want you to bring the heel towards the bottom, and we're just going to do some hip rotations here. Doesn't matter what size you're doing, you can keep them nice and small, or you might make them nice and big. Just imagine you're trying to draw a big circle with your knee, or any size circle. Just do what works for you. Change direction. Taking your circles the other way now. On your next inhale, kick that heel back up. Squeeze through the bottom. Try not to let the tummy dip. So just pull up gently on the tummy. And exhale that knee down. Let's change sides. So extend the left leg out now. Toes to the floor, pushing back into that heel. Imagine you're trying to bring your heel to the floor. It's not going to get there. But you're just doing that action of drawing it down. Lengthening all the way up the back of the leg. On your next inhale, kick that heel up, squeeze through the bottom, the hamstring, keep that tummy strong, and then let the heel come in, and we're going to go through those hip circles. Try and keep your weight balanced on the hands. One of your elbows will tend to want to bend here, so try and keep the arms straight. And just take a moment to notice how that hip feels compared to the other one. You might find you've got a bigger or a smaller range of movement. Might be a little bit more uncomfortable or tighter on one side. Change direction. Just noticing your body. And on your next inhale, kick that heel up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Keep drawing the abdominals in gently. Support the lower back. And exhale that knee down. Bring the toes together, knees open. Bottom to heels coming down into Balasana, child's pose. And then allow the head to come down to the ground. Remember, if the ground seems like a very long way away from you, use a block or a cushion, you bring the ground to you. And just find some stillness here. Inhale, slide the hands back in. Bring those knees together. And then where your tabletop hands would be, just take the hands another step forwards. Tuck the toes, and we're going to sweep up into our downward dog. Now remember, any issues with blood pressure, you can stay in tabletop. Lift that tailbone, draw the heels down. Then we're going to inhale the right leg up, straight to the sky. Then bend that right knee so the heel comes down towards the bottom. And we're going to turn the hips out to the right. So our chest is also going to follow. It's almost like we're looking into our right armpit. Really ground down through that left heel. And then as you exhale, you're going to come back to center and we're going to step that foot through to between the hands. Drop the back knee. And when you're ready, we're going to inhale the arms up if that feels comfortable for you. Remember, you've got lots of options with your arms, so just do what works for you. If you want to make this a little bit more challenging, you can add a little back bend here, but just make sure that you're really engaging through your abdominals to protect the lower back. On your next exhale, we're going to rock back into a hamstring stretch. There's a bit of balancing here. Bring the fingertips to the ground. That front leg can be bent if you need it to be. You're still going to get the hamstring stretch. And then just see if you can bring that chest towards the thigh. Then inhale, plant that foot, sweep back up into your low lunge. Exhale, sweep back into the hamstring stretch. This is really testing your balance out here. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, hamstring. One more time through. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, hamstring. Inhale, lunge. And then hands come down to the mat. Tuck the back toes, but we're going to sweep back into a plank here and be a little bit mean today. So sweeping back into a nice strong plank. Remember, we don't want our bottom in the air and we don't want our hips dropping. Think nice and long and straight. On your next exhale, Sweep back into your downward dog. You might need to reposition your feet. Remember, if you need a break at any time, tabletop or child's pose. Inhale the left leg up. Bend the knee so the heel comes towards the bottom, and then open up to the left. As you exhale on your next breath, center and step that foot through. Remember, if your foot doesn't go where you want it, just pick it up and move. Drop the back knee. Inhale the arms up. Remembering, choose your option for your arms. You can add that little back bend, that gaze upwards. On your next exhale, rock back into that hamstring stretch. Just pausing here for a couple of breaths to begin with. As you inhale, plant that front foot, sweep back up into the lunge. Exhale, hamstring stretch. Now if you're finding the transitioning just too much, just walk your hands forward and backwards each time. You can do it much slower. Go at your own pace, make it work for you. So you can walk your hands along the floor if you need to. Remember, yoga is all about you and your practice. So just make it your own. Last cycle through. Up into the lunge. Last time. Exhale the hands to the floor, and we're going to step back into that plank. So tuck the back toes, sweep back into the plank, find some strength there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push back into downward dog on an exhale. Lifting the tailbone. You're going to bend your knees. And on your next exhale, you're going to bring the right knee to the right wrist. And then slide that left leg out behind you. So we're coming into variation of pigeon pose. Now just make sure that you haven't got your heel under your bottom. You just want to kick that right foot out to the left. Just as far as you can, don't worry about where it is, as long as it's just out from underneath the bottom. Remember, you can pop a block or a folded blanket or cushion under your bottom to help support you here. Inhale, lift the chest, squeeze the tummy gently. And then as we exhale, we're going to see if we can just encourage the upper body down towards the ground. You might be able to get down to your elbows. You might even be able to bring the head down onto the hands. Begin to inhale, lifting the chest, using the hands to support. We're going to sweep back into that plank again. So tuck the back toes, lift your weight, and step it back. And holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On your next exhale, push back into that downward dog.
Please remember, if downward dog is not working for you, tabletop is absolutely fine as an alternative.
Bend the knees. Bring the left knee to the left wrist. Again, just kicking that foot out, sliding the right leg backwards, using the prop underneath the bottom of the thigh if you need to. Inhaling, lengthening, lifting the chest. And exhale, just see if you can encourage the upper body down. Maybe to the elbows, maybe all the way onto the hands. On your next inhale, slowly start to push up. Plant those hands, tuck the back toes, stepping back into that plank. Remember, with plank, you can absolutely keep your knees down if you need to. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees back into tabletop this time. Just take a couple of breaths here, slow your breath down. You're going to bring that right foot to the outside of your right hand. So if you can't quite get there from tabletop, just pick the foot up and move it. Even if you come up, bring the foot forward and then reset the hands. And I want you to let the right toes just turn out at a natural angle, about 45 degrees. And then allow those hips just sink and feel heavy. If you want to increase the intensity of this one, please feel free to lower the upper body. I don't quite have that range of movement, which is fine. I'm working on that. But if you can, you might be able to bring your elbows to the ground, even if you use some props. Well done. Bring that right foot backwards, knee to the ground, and then we're going to bring that left foot forwards. Again, just get there in your own way and in your own time. Kick the left toes out slightly, about 45 degrees. And just allow your hips to become heavy. So you're going to feel this quite strongly through the front of the right hip. That leg at the back. I feel it through the bottom, particularly on the left leg, the hamstring. Remember, if anything is painful at any time, please just gently bring yourself out of that asana and either find a variation or just take a break in tabletop. Well done. Bring that foot back. Keeping the knees on the floor. Plant the hands. I want you to keep the elbows tucked. We're going to lower the body to the floor. And then we're going to come up onto the elbows into Sphinx pose. The elbows are beneath the shoulders. Palms are spread, connecting with the ground. We're lengthening up through the chest, just taking our gaze forward. On your next exhale, we need to look back over your right shoulder, just noticing what you feel. Come back through center and exhale over to the left shoulder. Well done. Inhale, come back through center. You're going to kick your left hand in, so we've got it as a support. And what you're going to do, you're going to try and catch a hold of that right foot. Now, if that's proving quite tricky to catch a hold of, please feel free to lift yourself up, keeping that back nice and long, and then you can reset yourself. Alternatively, you can catch a hold of, if you've got socks on or if you've got trousers, you can just catch a hold of those. You can even use a strap or any variation of a strap. You can even just use the muscles in the leg to draw the heel in towards the bottom. If you're finding this too much in your lower back, you can just bring the head down, and that just gets rid of that back bend. Well done, and release. We're going to change sides. So this time we kick the right hand in, so we've got it for support. We catch a hold of that left foot, whichever way you can. I'm just encouraging both hips to connect with the floor here. You can also change how you're holding on to your foot. You can turn your hand round to catch the inside of the foot. You can even try and encourage that knee off the ground a little bit more. Just do what works for you. Well done, and release. I'm going to do a bit of an unusual one now. It's a variation of butterfly. So you're going to bring your head down to your hands. You're going to take your knees as wide as your mat, and you're just going to allow the soles of the feet to fall in towards each other. You don't really need to do anything here. We're just using gravity. Opening up through the hips. And remember, you're in full control here. You can always bring the knees a little bit closer together if it's too strong. You can try and take those knees further apart if you want to make it a little bit more challenging. Well done. Release the legs, straightening them out. I want you to bring your head down to the mat, and the arms are extending out along the body, so you're in a lovely straight line, nice and long. Keep those shoulders drawing back. On your inhale, we want to lift the legs and the chest, and if you can, drawing the hands back towards the feet. So really drawing those shoulder blades together. Now if you find this too intense, you can do one part. You could either do the upper body or just the legs. Exhale down. Take a little breather. Inhale up. Draw those shoulder blades back. Keep breathing. And exhale down. Well done. Just really working through the back body there.
bring the hands beside the chest. Inhale up for cobra. So we just begin to straighten the arms. They don't need to go all the way. And then we exhale down. We inhale back up. Maybe just see if you can go a little bit further this time. Gentle squeeze with the tummy. And back down. One more time. Great job. We're going to push up onto the knees. And we're going to come sit back onto our bottoms. We're going to extend the legs out in front of us. We're going to go in for a lovely long forward fold. So just begin by really lifting up out of the hips. To do that, you can pop your hands on the floor and just straighten through the arms, draw the shoulders down. And then inhale the arms up. And this time we're going to allow the back to round. So you can bring your hands to the floor and just walk them out. You might hold on to your legs. You might even be able to catch hold of the toes or the feet. Just let the back round. With every exhale, just see if you can encourage that chest towards the thighs a little bit more. Remember, you can bend the knees if you need to. That'll give you a little bit more of a range of movement. Well done. On your next inhale, bring the hands to the floor and slowly use them to bring yourself back up to seated on that inhale. Just take a moment to settle here. We're going to go back into our butterfly pose. So soles of the feet together. Just encouraging that bottom towards the heels. Using props if you need them. And this time we're going to allow that back to round. And see if we can just encourage the chest over the feet. Now don't worry about how far you go. I'm still really struggling with this one. My hips are very tight. So even if you just have a very small rounding here, that's absolutely fine. And remember, you can take those feet further away. That's going to make it much easier to forward fold. And just start to encourage them to come closer to you. We always want to be just pushing ourselves that little bit further, encouraging progress. You hear those lovely magpies in the background. It's our soundtrack for the day. Well done. Again, on your inhale, use the hands just to help bring you back up. We're going to come down onto our backs now. So just shift forwards on your mat if you need to. Knees bent, feet on the floor, lengthen through the spine on your inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to round through the spine, tuck the chin. We're going to roll down onto the mat. During that exhale, try to keep it as controlled as possible until the head is on the ground. We're going to bend the knees and you're going to to bring your right ankle to your left thigh. Now you might already feel that that's quite strong through that right leg, that right thigh and hip. If you feel like you can go a little bit further, you're going to bring that left thigh towards you and maybe catch a hold. Now if you're like me, my arms are a little bit short, so sometimes I struggle catching a hold of my thigh in this position. So sometimes I just catch a hold of my clothing, or I might use a strap. And while we're here, I want you to first flex the right foot, so that's trying to draw the toes back towards the shin, and then you're going to point the right toes. The left foot can just do whatever you like right now. You can either engage it or relax it. Bring the right toes back again, flexing the foot, and point, flex, and point. One more time, flex, and point, and then just leave it in a flexed position now. We're going to straighten that left leg just for a couple of breaths. Just try and keep as much tension out of the shoulders here as possible. And then bring that left foot back to the ground and release the right leg. We're going to change sides. So bring the left ankle to the right thigh. And just noticing if that's already your maximum, just hanging there and just pushing the knee away from the body. Or you might bring that right thigh towards you and just catch a hold in any which way you can. Just taking a moment to notice, does this side feel tighter or looser than the other? Can you feel any niggles, strengths, weaknesses? Just notice. And then begin by flexing the left foot, drawing the toes towards the shin, and then pointing, flexing, pointing, flex, point, last time, flex, point, and then leave the foot in a flexed position. Extend the right leg, heel up towards the ceiling, 2 breaths. And then bring those feet down. We're going to go into a reclined twist now. So we're going to try a slightly more challenging version. If it's too much, just reset and do your own version. So we're going to start by crossing our right leg over our left. And then we're going to take the arms out to the sides, straight out from the shoulders. And you're going to allow your legs to fall in a controlled way over to the left. Now because we've got those legs crossed, it creates a lot more weight and it's much more challenging on the back. So if you're already feeling it's not working for you, just come back, uncross, and then allow the knees to fall. It's a much more gentle version. But again, we always want to challenge ourselves. So just find what works for you. On your next inhale, squeeze through the tummy and the lower back. bring the legs back to center, uncross, and we're going to change sides. So left leg crosses the right, and on your next exhale, allow the legs to come down to the right hand side. Again, just listening to the body. If it's too intense, uncross the legs. On your next inhale, come back through center, squeeze the tummy and the lower back. Final asana. Bring the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to fall open to the sides. You don't need to do anything here. And then I want you to bring one hand to the chest and one hand is resting on the tummy. And just beginning to notice where your breath is traveling. So if you noticed your chest hand moving and not your tummy, you know you just need to encourage that breath down into the tummy as well. So both hands should be rising and falling. Much easier to feel this when you're lying down. That movement is much more exaggerated. If you're comfortable to keep your legs in this position, please do. Otherwise, just extend them out straight so you're lying flat. And we'll just go through a gentle pranayama, a box breathing. And we're just going to begin nice and easy, breathing in for the count of 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then hold for 5. Exhale slowly for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then hold. Probably the trickiest part is not taking that next breath too quickly. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 5. Inhale 5. And just try and let go of any tension you're holding onto in the shoulders, the arms. You might even remove the hands now just to help relax. And just keep cycling through at your own pace now. In for 5, hold for 5, out for 5, and hold for 5. You can extend the counts maybe to 8 or 10 or even 12. One more cycle through. you're finished, if you haven't already, bring the knees together and extend the legs out, just allowing the feet to gently fall out to the sides. Arms are away from the body, palms facing up if that feels comfortable for you. And just wiggle those shoulder blades down, getting nice and comfortable and closing the eyes. Bringing your attention to the rise and fall of your chest and tummy. And just visualize with every inhale, drawing energy in, fresh new energy and life. And with every exhale, just getting rid of any old, stale energy and replacing it on your inhale. It's almost like a wave entering and leaving the body. Going to gradually bring some small movements back into the fingers and the toes, making those movements larger until you might move the entire body. Taking a full body stretch, maybe hugging the knees in. And in your own time, rolling onto the side. Keeping the eyes closed. Still noticing that renewed life and energy as you inhale. And the release of old stale energy as you exhale. Gradually bringing yourself up to a seated position. Bring the hands to heart center. We're going to take a couple of deep cleansing breaths to close our practice. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Now if you feel comfortable to do a little hum or an om sound on your exhale, please do. It's very therapeutic for your body. Very good to relieve stress and anxiety. A nice long breath in through the nose. And one more time in through the nose. Job, everybody. Please take care of yourself for the rest of the day.
Namaste, and thank you for joining me. See you again soon.